Peace and blessings, everyone, and welcome to my Instagram Live conversation with Danielle Laporte. We're going to be inviting her in just a moment. You have time to tell your friends to come to my Instagram page and to us. There she is.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Reverend.
Danielle, how are you?
I'm surfing. I'm surfing, riding the wave, going deep.
Riding the wave and going deep.
Yeah. And this is a conversation like with you that I've been wanting to have.
Yeah. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Let me just let people know that you're just tuning in to Instagram Live with Michael Beckwith and Danielle Laporte. If you don't know who she is, you're probably under a rock somewhere, but best-selling author, dynamic inspirational speaker, creative entrepreneur, the desire map, 9 languages. She's done a lot of work for a lot of people to bring them into a level of coherence with who they're seeking to be, that impulse within them that's trying to express itself. And she does a damn good job. So I wanted to have her. And first of all, welcome. Second of all, we just participated in the World Meditation Day.
We did.
And you were a part of that. And the numbers aren't even already in yet, but it's gone over 8-9 million people. So it's broken all records in terms of a singular moment of meditation for humanity. But it's probably going to go way more than that because they haven't received the information from India, Africa, Australia, and another number of places where it's being played. So millions of people were able to stop on that one day, that 1 hour and a half, and be with us to kind of have a global reset about the possibilities that lie within us and to take our power back to a degree and to come out of fear and worry and to come into a possibility of something else emerging. So I just want to thank you for being a part of that.
Thank you. Yeah. It's all I want to do now is hang out and meditate and just get people together to go in. Yeah.
Absolutely. So with all of this going on, what have you noticed about yourself that, in these moments of introspection, what have you noticed about yourself that that maybe you were surprised about, or maybe it was just an amplification of stuff you already knew?
Simplicity. What I've noticed is that it feels like the new spiritual calling for me, like a different, a deep elegance. And so there's been lots of shedding. I have, like, every dream I've had, I've like held it up to say, is this still appropriate? No? Okay. This one, can I still desire this? Okay, we're going to refine that. Okay. And really, I'm just more in thy will be done, more than I ever have. And I feel more just willing to hand it over, but with all my fears and all of my hangups. Like this, I say this is a before and after. I've for so long, I've been on this path of like refinement, of betterment in order to be enough to like show up for God. Now I'm just like, no, as is today, 100% willing with my fears and my hangups, but more devoted and more human than ever. Yeah.
I definitely understand that. Yeah. This past Sunday, that was one of the things that I talked about, the whole thy will be done consciousness, with an awareness that means, the will of God is always for a greater expression of life, regardless of how messy our life may be in terms of becoming that. But God's will, life's will, intelligence's will, is always for a greater expression of life. And to throw ourselves into that abyss, like you said, with all of our fears, doubts, worries, all the ways that we want to improve ourselves, all the ways we think we've got it together, we don't have to get perfect to do that.
Yeah.
Throwing ourselves into that abyss then requalifies us better than we can do
Yes.
with our imagination.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. I thought I had to like tidy it all up before the jump. And I think
right,
life is just asking us to like make the jump.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been a lot of letting go. And I'm not like where we're at in like the practicalities of the situation. My city's just starting to open up. And I feel more attuned with my body than ever.
Mm.
I'm not I'm not ready to emerge. And it's not from a place of fear. I mean, I could, logic would have me like just sit back and wait and see what happens. But that's not it. It's like, I want to get everything I can. I'm going to be so obedient to the mother.
Hmm.
I'm following the inner impulse. I don't want to go out yet. I'm
Yeah.
just like, people just like, it was just my birthday this week. And people are like, we'll do that. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna juice this for a few more weeks. I've thought about doing the 3-year Buddhist retreat, the 3 years, 3 months, 3 days. I'm like, that's too rad. That's
Right,
not
right.
me. I thought like I would love just 3 months in silence. So like the mother has given it to me. Householder, business person, but you got 3 months to dive. I'm still diving. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. You're in Canada, right?
Yeah. I'm in
So it's
Vancouver.
starting to open up. No, I'm definitely with you. Um,
Hmm.
I come to my office and I do certain things that I have to do, but I like the being still. I
Hmm.
like, you
Hmm.
know, it's interesting that I had just come back from India when this thing hit. And
Yes.
I think we were one of the last planes to get out of the country to come back to the United States before they cut off travel. And my plan at that time, I was taking off for 6 weeks. I was just gonna, because I've been going for years without stopping. And
Yeah.
so as soon as I came back, this hit. I had to convert everything to online, get the staff up to par.
Hmm.
I went right back into really, work.
Go mode.
Yeah, just go mode, just to make sure everything we were in the greatest service mode we could possibly be
Yeah.
for people who really needed a sense of transmuting their fear.
Yeah.
But that was my moment. I was going to stop. So now I'm really happy that things aren't normal yet.
Hmm.
I appreciate the moments of doing nothing, which is not really doing nothing.
Hmm.
It's really being still, being introspective, being aware of oneself, making choices, letting go what you don't want anymore. So I'm with you. I'm not. People have said, "Are you going to open up Agape this week?" A lot of the communities are opening up. I said, "No,
Nope.
I'm not doing that." We were ahead of the game in terms of being online already. So all I did
Hmm.
is put my rest of my ministries online, and people are flourishing in their bedrooms and living rooms and participating with the services and all the things we're giving, and they're going deep.
Hmm.
So I don't think we need to rush back in. I love community. I love hug. I love being
Hmm.
around people. But intuitively, I don't feel it yet.
Hmm.
First of
Um,
all, the sanctuary is going to have a deep scrub,
yeah. Yeah.
deep cleansing, the same kind of cleansing we're having inside. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
Now,
And I think more people need to be open about not feeling it yet and not from that place of fear. It's like I also feel more inclined to preach. I've been thinking about you because you are like the penultimate preacher, and now I'm just like I am on, like I am willing. You know what I want to talk to you about? I want to talk to you about pleading in in the preach, because I just like right now I'm just at this place where like I am willing to beg people to heed this pause. I am willing. I'm just like, I just like, I will get on my knees on stage, any platform you will give me, any mic that I can grab to say, like, this is the greatest call we've ever had in human history to forgive, to let go, to let the grievances, like, this is a passage. This is a passage to, like, I think where we're heading from where we're at and how messed up things are, where we're heading looks like utopia from where we are today.
mhm.
But it's there. But in order to get there, we got to throw some stuff overboard. And, there's lots of conversations, and I'm like, I have so much respect for all the conversations about new social systems and new ways of governments. I get it. But really, none of that can happen unless you have healthy people. And you
Right.
can't be healthy unless you're forgiving, unless you deepen your devotion.
Right.
That's the
Right.
call.
Right. We cannot have an enlightened society with unenlightened people. People have to go deep. And you brought up the F word, which is forgiveness, which is a total cleansing of ourselves, forgiving ourselves for missteps, and forgiving anyone we think has done harm to us consciously or unconsciously. That has to be our way of life, you know. And people can really look at themselves at this moment and see, you know, how long have I been holding this grudge? Holding a grudge is heavy lifting. You know, how long have I been holding this resentment? How often does it come out of my mouth in conversations? And people forget that there's a law in the universe, that which comes out of your mouth, you're asking the universe to keep experiencing that, you know. So unforgiveness, I always say that unforgiveness is one of the highest levels of self-abuse we can be participating in.
Yes.
We're abusing ourselves mentally, and we're abusing ourselves psychically. We're abusing ourselves with these thoughts. So I like this. This is a great reset moment to forgive and to get clean inside.
This is death. I mean, from the beginning of this, choosing to shelter in the place, I have been thinking about death in a way I've never thought about it. What do I need to let go of to be ready to die, clean, clear, full-hearted, to, you know, to have the metaphorical rebirth? And if, and just in a really practical terms, like if this was a situation that took my life, have I really fully showed up? Have I set things up? And yeah, it's like, and what do people do on their deathbeds? They say they're sorry. They let it
Right.
go. They decide to
Yeah.
live more. I've been having great conversations with doctors who just like, I feel like the planet is in hospice. We are nearing hospice now.
Yeah.
And you let go of everything that's not contributing. You get your affairs in order and you just get over a lot of shit and just say, it's okay. It's like, it's forgiven. Like
Right.
I've been cooking food for my ex-husband. It's like a miracle. Because I just like, it's
Well,
okay.
you have it delivered. He comes and picks it up. What's the deal?
Well, at the beginning of this, we were dropping off like soup on his doorstep. And he still drives me crazy. But like, it's all right. It's all right. I have more space for everybody's stuff. I have more space for my stuff.
Well, that's what forgiveness does. It creates spaciousness. So we're not
Yeah.
all wound up with little small perceptions. It creates spaciousness to accept people. And you don't have to like people. You don't have to like what they do or say. But acceptance and tolerance and then ultimately appreciation does emerge with forgiveness. Yeah. That's a miracle, cooking for your
It's a
ex-husband.
miracle. And then you're more spacious. You have more mental clarity. You make healthier choices about what you're going to put into your body. You do everything that needs to be done for your wellness, for everybody else's wellness. You have clear-minded conversations. You maybe start to, you know, grow a bit of lettuce in your backyard,
Yeah.
and you become more ... immune.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you're bringing it down. I mean, these are all the things that we've been talking about for a long time. You know, proper nutrition,
Yeah.
proper exercise, right supplements, cleanliness of the mind, and cleanliness of your mouth, and cleanliness of what comes out of your mouth, and cleanliness of the body temple. These things this particular Corona bonus has simply just made us focus on these things more. And I agree, we should have gardens. You have to be able to get your water and your food, because you don't know, things are so, in the world of phenomena, so changeable at any given moment, that you want to be able to definitely have a little lettuce, little tomato, little sunam berries in your backyard, something.
Yeah, let us for the win. And it's like the mother is saying, hi. Have you not noticed me? You have clearly not been paying attention. So I'm going to get your attention right now. Some of you are going to like intensely suffer because of this. Some will waken up. I think it's like, you know, what I've been thinking about lately is like the really asleep, the stone-hearted, and then like the half awake. the kind of half-hearted, and then
Yeah.
the more awake than most, the
Yeah.
open-hearted, and how we're all going to respond to this. And, you know, when I see like the other side, like we make it through and some of us are going to garden and forgive and not buy as much crap, I think there's going to be a new way of those people who are more awake than others, more open-hearted, are going to have to be okay with picking up slack for the stone-hearted. And that's
Yeah.
what love does. Love carries the
Yeah.
others. And we've been reticent to carry each other. I mean, I'm Canadian and as socialized, we do a little more carrying politically.
Yeah.
Because when I think, you know, like I'm getting my hope from my immediate community.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what are you saying? And what's Krasno got to say? And my girlfriends and my coaches. And it's like, everybody's decided like local governance is it. And I'm going to write a love letter and I'm going to forgive my ex. And I'm not going to shop for a year. And we really like, let's get to zero waste. And I'm going to sit on my cushion and all of that. And so we all get all high and elevated about that. And then we see what's happening. We go, lineups outside of shopping malls right now and revenge shopping and people just wanting it to get back to normal. And it's like, how do you kind of keep it up? What you stick together with the resonance, and you just have to, I'll speak for myself, I just have to be more loving.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It reminded me of a couple of things. One of the things that I built Agape on was the teachings of Dr. Howard Thurman. And he had I met him. I stayed in Thurman Hall when I went to Morehouse College, and greatly influenced me. And he has a passage called "I want to be more loving in my heart," and we would meditate on that for weeks and weeks and weeks, because we didn't want to start something that we were not. You know, agape means unconditional love. So we didn't want to start a community unless we were able to really go to the mat on unconditional love. So we would meditate on, I want to be more loving in my heart. I want to be a kind and gracious human being, that when individuals come into my atmosphere, there's a change because they've come into my atmosphere. You know, a deliberate, he called it an unconscious and deliberate intent to be loving. And this is what we're called to be right now.
Yes.
To come out of our opinions. Everybody has opinions. You learn how to bracket our opinions for a while. You can go back to your opinion later, but bracket the opinion and then come into a loving heart. And this is the only way we're going to build or manifest a kind and just global society. We have to be that vibration. This is not poppycock. This is not metaphor. This is real energy that we're talking about.
Hey, where can you talk about hope?
I think there's hope, and then there's faith, and then there's conviction. And so we want to make sure that people don't lose their hope, that we have to begin to feel into not merely the worst case scenarios which grab our attention. They're in the headlines, they're on the news all the time. The media gives us worst case scenarios. That's kind of their job. And people can become bereft and lose their hope. Suicide rate is higher than it's been before during this particular period of time. So we need hope. Things are going to be okay. Life always wins. The mother never neglects us. The principles always work. You know, we have to have a level of hope. And then as we come into some modicum of spiritual practice, some moment of inspiration from some spiritual community, then we start to develop a level of faith. And faith is where you actually can see the invisible. It hasn't manifested yet, but you're starting to live in that vibration. I don't see it. I can't see it with my eyes. I can't hear it. I can't smell it, but I'm feeling it now. So that's faith. And then as we continue to grow, then faith converts to conviction. I know. How do you know? No, I know. I can't break it down to you, but I've had an encounter. I've seen something, and I can't deny what I've seen or feel in my heart. So hope is definitely necessary because it's the bridge to faith, and then faith is the bridge to conviction. And so
So where does one resource hope? Where do you find it?
I think, obviously, I mean, first thing that comes to my mind is spiritual practice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, an individual has to find something that resonates with them. Everything doesn't resonate with everybody. But an individual that's looking for hope will find that voice, that book, that individual, when they hear it, oh my God, I needed to hear that today.
You
And
have
once
to
they,
actively look for it. So that I think that's the key. You've got to show up and look for hope. You got to be a hope hunter, and
yeah, you have to
then
intend it.
it
You
resonates.
have to,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you have to intend it. And then you have to, then once you feel it, then you keep going back to that well. You know,
Mm-hmm.
what is it that made me have that level of hope? You keep going back to the well until your baseline is changed. Now, a person's baseline may be near hopelessness or fear or worry. That may be their normal. And then you find something. Oh my God, that was brilliant. That was inspirational. That was motivational, whatever. You keep going back to it until your baseline raises. And what
Yeah.
happens is most people don't even know when the baseline raises. And they don't even know that they've changed to a degree until something happens and they realize, oh, that didn't bother me as much as it used to. What happened? Your baseline had been raised. Going back to the well of your hope, you see. So yeah, you have to want it. You have to desire it. You have to intend it. We have to participate in our own unfolding. It's not gonna be any big guy in the sky coming down and saying, hey. It's gonna be we lifting our vibration and meeting the higher frequency, And this is why you're here with me today. This is what we do. This is what we have committed our lives to doing. To even when we fall, to keep on going, and because once you've seen something, you can't unsee it. The things I've seen in my life, and the encounters that I've had, even a few days ago, I had a powerful encounter. I can't deny that. I could be in a bad mood about something, but I can't deny the encounter that I had that fuels me.
Can you tell us about the encounter? I'm just going
Last,
to interview you.
you said that too. You said, I'm going to ask you some questions. It was last Friday, I think, Thursday or Friday. I was here in my office, and I laid down to take a quick nap. I had to do some more interviews and things. And when I woke up, I was blind. I couldn't see. I was so engulfed in the light that I said out loud, I said, I'm blind, I can't see. So Lee got off the phone. She was talking. She said, I got to go. And I said, I can't see anything. I'm just engulfed in light. And then I could see the fountain of light in her being, like a fountain going. Mm-hmm. I could see that in Reverend Kathleen McNamara. I could see it in plants. I could see it everywhere. It was like that. I became aware that I was in something, and then it became. And I've been in it before, but this was the first time I've been in it when there were people around. I was always by myself, and that particular event, when I got up, lasted about 10, 12, 15 minutes maybe. But it's left me with a residue of just a deep knowing that there's something that's got us. Like as the saying goes, I don't know what the future holds, but I know what holds the future. And it's this luminosity, this light, this brilliance that we are, that our spiritual practice begins to, like forgiveness, begins to clean up our filters so we can see ourselves differently. And I can't not remember that. I cannot unsee that. There's a moment, I'm blind, and it was, oh.
You're blinded by the light.
I'm blinded by light to this world. And then this world was engulfed in light, and then here I am, So I think that everyone, if they search themselves, there are moments of inspiration that they may have not examined, that maybe they just put it to the side, they didn't think it was important. and then they went back to their baseline of worry. And if they go back and examine those moments when their back was against the wall and something happened, or they had an insight, they had a bit of guidance, if they go back to that as a soul memory, it will begin to feed them, and they'll have a different baseline of seeing reality.
And also to name so many of the things that we're doing as our spiritual practice.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be a traditional thing, but it's like those 20 minutes in the morning, there's just that reading, just that how you shut down from your day. Like, just call it what it is, a form of devotion. And that deepens the devotion, and you get more devotional tools in your toolkit, and just like really time to like come out of the closet and really own these things. Yeah.
It's interesting you say come out of the closet, because, you know, oftentimes when we're doing television or something, they'll say, you know, don't bring up spirituality, don't bring up this, don't bring up God. But at the end of the day, everybody on the panel, or everybody, even the newscaster, is so totally into the presence or spirituality. And if everybody just came out the closet, you know, saying, I love life, I love God, I love my spiritual practice, you know, instead of like, well, we got to have the separation of church and state, we can't say this on the news, you know. I think that this is a big call. For everyone to come out of the closet.
Oh, this is it. This is the time for idealists to come out, full force, full color, highest vibration, use your whole vocabulary, and unite. This is it. Like, if you have been accused for being too woo, too new age, too progressive, too soft, hard on sleeve, this is your moment. And and this is where, you know, cue the pleading and the begging. This is like, I'm like, please step through the gate. You are needed to lead. Yeah.
Talk to them. Because you know what? It doesn't take any courage to resign yourself to circumstances as they are. Resignation doesn't take any courage. Courage comes from people who are consciously naive enough to think that they can hold an ideal and bring it into manifestation and be thought of as nuts and crazy, off their rocker. Don't you see the facts of life? Don't you see what's happening? You know, it doesn't take any courage to just give up and say, well, this is the way things are. But to begin to, as you know, to come out of the closet and say, you know, I believe in possibility. I believe that we're surrounded by infinite opportunities. I don't believe things have to be a certain way just because they've always been that way. That is where courage comes in. And that's where participation.
And I'm so expanded in that belief. I've seen enough of the light that I'm spacious enough and full enough of that light that if you disagree with me, I'm not offended. It doesn't push me back. It's like, peace. Okay, I'm good. I know what's true for me. Yeah.
Right. Okay. It's because actually creates more offense when you take offense than give offense. When you take offense, that's very dangerous. So being spacious enough, as you're describing, to let people disagree with you or not even like you, and not be offended by it, that's a big space holder.
It's a big, and you know what the next degree I think of that is to not have pity. Because I used to be in this mode of like, you're going to get it someday. You're going to see the light. You're going to know that love is in charge. You wake up. And now not even that. I'm just like, wow, you could be a bodhisattva right now for all I know. And this is how you're walking through to like be who not like a atheist. I have time for everybody now. I just do. It's like, you want to be an atheist? Okay, you could be the Buddha in disguise, and this is the role that you're going to play to like expand yourself.
Right. Well, you're very spacious, and you're speaking from a very expanded space, and I love that. And it's in your voice, it's in your resonance of your being. I can feel it. And so we're just inviting people who are tuning in and who will watch this conversation later to be aware that if they participate just a little bit in their own spiritual walk, doors open, perceptions change. And when perceptions change, obviously, thoughts change. When thoughts change, our experience changes. And this is what we're inviting people to do. Now what do you think you're going to, obviously we're not ever going back to normal. It's going to be a new normal.
No, normal was screwed. I don't want normal.
Yeah.
No, wake up. Bad. No.
We don't want gross materialism and people running away from issues with so much busyness. Mm-hmm. When, in fact, there's a new way of moving into the world, and you've described some of it already, what do you think, what main quality are you going to take with you? You're going to embrace it.
I am taking, well, here's what's changing already. So less rushing, less pushing, less willfulness. What you had just said about just to show up this much. I mean, this is where I'm at. My study right now, even this week in A Course in Miracles, is just life is saying, spirit is saying, I just crack the door open, and I'll do the rest. And the last couple of years, part of my practice has been more about like being in that energy of basking. Like, I'm aware of the light. I get it. I know some days I see the fountain. Some days I sense the fountain. Some days I just have to have faith that the fountain of light is there. The bask is just, I finally get that basking is actually an act of co-creativity. I get it. Just like as I mother my teenage son, I don't need him to do all the work. I just need him to show up, and I'm going to just love on him. But just show up to get it. Just be here. Show up. And then, so God, I get it now, Michael. I get it. God wants me to take all that ego stuff, all the illusions that I've been separate from myself, my higher self, from God, from each other, from you, from the mother, move all that out of the way. I'm doing my work. I'm doing the shadow work. I show up and I do my cleansing, all the cleansing that can be done. And I step into reality, and God is like, thank you. I've just been waiting for you to show up so that I could do the rest.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. It's so efficient.
It's called getting out of the way. Yes. So that life, God, presence can do what it does without us interfering with it.
I am more lit up. I sleep better. I am more, in a business sense, profitable. My team is healthier. I'm having better conversations with everybody in my life. Mm. And where I have to keep showing up, and this is difficult, especially for people, our culture is so wired that productivity is the badge of honor. We're obsessed with proof, obsessed with it. It's part of our sickness. It's why it's killing our immune systems, burning out our adrenals. And then, what we do is we just shop. We work harder, get more stuff to say, aren't I loving and lovable? Aren't I worthy? Doesn't this purse, this car make me more lovable? And you know what? That purse is connected to this pandemic.
Yeah.
Lack of self-worth, greed, system set up. There is no such thing as a healthcare system on this planet. Let's get really real. It's not healthcare.
Particularly in America. I think you have a little better one in Canada, but particularly in America, and the coronavirus, whatever you want to call it, has revealed that to many people who were under the illusion that we had a healthcare system. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so we get to, you said a lot, we get to reimagine what a healthcare system looks like, mm-hmm. regardless of how much money someone has. Everyone deserves proper treatment.
Yes, but our baseline is set so low. We bought into this illusion that it's healthcare. So we're all agreeing right now it's actually not healthcare. But I think we need to go to the next level of awareness that not only is it not healthcare, it's not a neutral line. It's actually set up, designed, and perpetuated to keep us sick.
Yes, it's a sick care system.
It's a sick care system.
Yeah.
It's operationalized to keep us unwell. Wake up. Yeah.
Yeah. It deals with symptoms, and then it gives you something for the symptom that creates a side effect of whatever it is you're taking for that symptom, so that you're continually going into that system to pay more money to get stuff that's not going to cure what you had, which has its genesis in your mind of worry, doubt, and fear, lack of nutrition, lack of exercise. If you're going to mandate something, it doesn't need to be a virus or pharmaceuticals, because our bodies are not what's the word? They're not pharmaceutical drug deprived. They're nutritionally deprived, and thought for food. But waking up to that now.
But the cycle is, so why is that? Because we are all commodities. Why? Yes. Who is making? So let's be really clear. We are all participating in our own commodification. So it's not a they outside of us. It's not the government. We're showing up, and some of us are actually creating. Two reasons. One is everybody's just got family of origin issues, and I didn't get enough love in this lifetime or the last lifetime. So I'm going to go and try and extract power, and I'm just going to operate on greed because I have this perceived hole in my soul, and I'm going to go fill it up. Tell me I'm powerful. I'm going to ogre over. And we really need to wake up to that. Where
you've described it. When that sense of lack begins to get power, that becomes an addiction. So individuals become addicted to pseudo power by how much they have or how much they can control, and there's never enough that doesn't satisfy. That power does not satisfy. That amount of materialism does not ever satisfy. So you can never get enough of that which is satisfied. So your ego just wants more of that which doesn't satisfy. And that becomes a very demented, dark force.
Demented is a very important word. And I think people get addicted also to the behavior. So that's an addiction to a perception of superiority. But we're also getting addicted to the perception of inferiority.
Yes.
Some of us are addicted to like the lack and the not feeling, to basically being thought of as less than and enslaved to certain cultures and ideologies. And it's working on both sides.
Yeah, people are addicted to that sense of unworthiness.
Yeah.
Because they're addicted to the chemicals that the body creates when you're in that state. And they keep going back to that same sense of unworthiness, I'm not good enough, et cetera, et cetera. And they become in an addictive flow. And this is where we come in to try to, I call it human interruptus. We try to break them from that human low-level consciousness, shock them with some inspiration, some love, some motivation, some sense of connection, so they can start to participate in coming back to themselves. But yeah, we're definitely in a seeming battlefield between those people who have become addicted to pseudo power. And then you have the whole cleansing that's taking place as consciousness rises. And it has risen. Consciousness has risen. So you have the cleansing of energies that cannot live in the new frequency that are coming up to be seen. We see this all over the world, where things that used to be hidden for years, you find out about them the next day, whether it be presidents or prime ministers or dictators. All the lies can be seen through now, very, very quickly. And so we're in that state of flux. Things are fluxed up. We're in that state of flux between hospicing the old and birthing the new. We're right there.
Yes, and the dementors are hidden in plain sight.
Yeah, they're not even hiding anymore.
They're not even hiding.
They used to smile.
So you have to trust your body in all of this. And it's like, that is interesting what you're saying about like the shock it with love, shock the system with love, shock the system with compassion.
Yeah.
And I think that has to be, yes, beautiful. Everybody, the awakened moment of just like, I love you no matter what, transform somebody. But also I think the mother is just saying, I think this is global rehab. Like, just go to your room and think about things.
I like that, global rehab.
Right? Like, no more shopping addiction, no more. And my prayer, I'm just going to keep begging, okay? Let's do this every day just so that I can
begging God.
Beg.
You're not begging the mother. You're begging people to wake up.
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm not begging for mercy. I'm begging my fellow human beings, like, please, did we not learn it? Like, carbon emissions are down 30 to 40%.
Yeah.
You don't need the pair of jeans. You don't need the new running shoes. Just grow some oregano on your windowsill. Vote. Get to know your neighbors. Go to sleep by 10 o'clock. Please.
11 for me.
You need less because you're in the fountain, but yeah.
Well, let me ask you this.
Ask me.
Grace for impact.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Well, I've been thinking about grace because I've been praying for grace in this situation. And what I believe it to be is like grace holds tension, At the beginning of this, I sat here. This is my art studio. And I just thought, well, I'll just flow out a podcast episode. And it turned into like 7 hours and a book. I've just switched my business model. It's an experiment. I have to give the caveat that it's an experiment. But I switched my whole business to pay what you wish model, which makes it's making me sweat because I have
you're trusting in the universe, the mother, and in the highest. That's when humanity. You're trusting in the highest to actually circulate something that matches how they're being benefited.
Yes, I am.
Which is what happens in spiritual communities. That's what happens in a spiritual community. There's no like, well, you have to pay this much to come, to listen and to be a part of the community. You pay what you will to keep the doors open.
Except I can't go ask for donations. I mean, this is why both
This is a business model. Yeah,
it's a business model. Like, if I wanted to run as a charity, it might be different. I'd be like, we want to get millions of people meditating and talking divine radiance, deep sensitivity. Maybe I could become a church. But like, I have 17 people on payroll. And it costs thousands of dollars to make beautiful things and get them out. So we'll see. So I'm doing that. I'm having conversations with neighbors, and I've never been one for small talk, but now I really just want to do this on a regular basis. And I'm creating more spaciousness than ever, just not in a rush. And I'm also, this is like in our space, in the wellness consciousness space, we've all been hearing for so long, just like the idea of holding space for other people.
That's right.
And I haven't really gotten that until this month, I would say, because, and this goes back to grace, is I realize, when I sit and I do my work and I do my devotion and I feel my own sorrow and my fear and I feel the rapture of life, then I move. So I've done my work, I've done my service, I pour my love on the earth. And then I move into like, okay, I've done my work. I'm going to make a few requests. Now, since I'm here, can I ask for a couple things? And then I move into like, I water my seeds, the things I want to manifest, and still questioning if those are the right thing. I'm just like, God's given me the green light. I still get to want everything that I've wanted. When I see my desires fulfilled, I can see the radiance in that in a way I haven't seen before. Like, I'm caring for myself on a deeper level. Like, if I am well, all is well, at least in my consciousness. Then I can pour that out.
Right.
And that is what gives me the capacity to hold space.
Right.
To look for faith, to look for signs of faith, and just be like, I really do believe that things are unfolding as they have to, not as they should. That's been the refinement in my awareness just in the last like 72 hours. Not as they should. I think things could be very different, could be more graceful. There could be less suffering. but with how we're showing up, God is meeting us.
Yeah.
So I think we could show up better and have a different response from life.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, and that's what we're inviting individuals to just look at that. You know, how during this time to ask, you know, who do I want to be? What kind of person do I want to be as we go forward? What do I want to give? What do I want to share? Rather than cowering in fear about anxiousness about the future, take this intense energy and ask, who do I want to be? What do I want to become? And use the same energy to ask a different question, because we're in intense times. So you're asking questions around grace, new business models,
and transpersonal
faith.
suffering. I've been very interested in, it's like, I have a very low degree of suffering right now compared to someone on a respirator or anyone in Brazil right now. But if I can use my micro degree of suffering, and some days, you know, my existential angst is heavy. But I just like, who else is feeling this? Who else feels it to a greater degree? Who else has extended suffering? I mean, I kind of walk myself through the Four Noble Truths.
Yeah.
So it's like, been suffering in this way worse and longer. Okay, I'm good. Take care of myself, help that person be better.
Yeah. And then that grows compassion.
Yeah.
So Grace Under Fire podcast, new book.
Pay what you wish.
What do you say?
I said, pay what you wish. Yeah.
Pay what you wish. Hear that, everyone. Pay what you wish. And anything else you want to say before we go?
Oh, is there anything I haven't begged for in our time together? Yeah, these are my requests. Pray like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Meditate like your life depends on it.
Yeah.
Turn your Wi-Fi routers off at night. You will sleep better.
I do that.
Grow some food. Talk to your neighbor. Forgive. Let go of your grievances. And focus on all those beautiful tools that we've had for thousands of years to grow our awareness. Then you grow your immunity, and you put your faith in how love restores you. And I wouldn't say we got this. I'm not sure that we've got this, but I would say it's 50-50. And
I appreciate all those little tips you gave. So very, very vitally important. I would just add, you know, I firmly believe from my encounters that life wins. There's no timetable because we have to participate in it. And the quickening happens when we're all participating, as we did last week on that global meditation. That we'll have another one on June 21st. So yeah, life wins. And something I thought I would never do, but I just done it recently. I started an app and putting more inspiration out there, and it's free. And the app is free. I mean, there is a level where you can pay $2.99 and get some extra stuff, but the app is free. I put in there how to make my shakes, what kind of nutrition I'm doing, tips on building your immune system spiritually, mentally, physically during this time of the COVID-19 situation and beyond. The things I was doing way before this happened, you know. So.
And what'd you call the app?
Beckwith Inspires.
Beckwith Inspired.
I'm liking giving the information out to people in that way, because many people are carrying, you know, their smartphones. So they might as well make them smart for something.
And look at you doing these Instagram lives. I'm just like, Michael B is showing up on a regular basis. It's beautiful. Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. You know, we have, again, our 3 services on Sunday at agapelive.com or on the Agape's Facebook page. We have a noon meditation We have an 8 o'clock prayer session. We have a Friday night community gathering. I think I'm going to invite you to that. We invite teachers in, and the community talks. We have a crisis support teams online. You can call, get an appointment, with one of our therapists. So everything's going online. We're trying to be of greater service to do what you're saying here, give somebody some hope, and then grow it into faith, and then grow it into conviction. So that we can make a mighty difference on this planet, to make a real good vibrational imprint on the planet before we leave. And you have done that. And I appreciate you. I'll just say one thing. I want everybody to know that Danielle is the real deal. When we met in my office, remember we met in my office when we were in the old building? And I asked her a few things about, things she was doing in her business model. I wanted some help. And she gave it so freely. Some people are very like, hold on to their secrets and hold on. Well, I don't want people to know how I do this. I don't want people to know. She just gave everything to me. Just told me so much. And it's very, very, me and my staff talked about it. She's like, wow, she just was a real deal. She just didn't hold anything back. I just want to thank you for being you. You're very, very precious. And is today your birthday, or was it yesterday?
My birthday was yesterday, but I celebrate all week. So, I'll take the birthday love.
Happy Appearance Day.
Thank you.
It was your mother's birthday, and it was your appearance day. Your mother gave birth, and you appeared. So God bless you on your appearance day, your appearance week. And thank you, Mother, for pushing you on through.
I'll tell her you said so, yeah. Michael, I just like so honor you and everything that you bring. And you are your own fountain of light. And it's an honor to call you. It's just an honor to be here. And that I can call you a friend is really, I feel really blessed. Yeah.
It's very sweet. And I feel the same way. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, everybody. Love.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you. God bless you. Peace and blessings, everyone. That was Danielle Laporte, powerful woman, very soul-centered. And if you didn't know who she was before this particular Instagram live, now you do. She's a great being. We love her so much. We'll see you Friday at the community gathering, but we'll see you every single day at 8 a.m. and at 12 p.m. for prayer and meditation on Agape's Facebook page. Have a great day.